Hey guys, welcome to TCR. Sid here. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As you can see, I am currently in the mudroom in this part of the construction zone. This part is mostly done, not completely done, but mostly done. But today we're gonna be updating you on the last section that is being worked on. Frankie's digging for some tools behind me, don't mind her. But let's mosey on over and see what's going on. All right, so pardon this construction zone here. Everything's kind of a work in progress. But let's take a look inside here. So we just painted this. Yesterday I finished painting. They started it Friday night after our live. Hopefully you guys can see. It's kind of like a neutral, kind of hard to see in here with the light the way it is right now. I really like the color actually. And then the flooring, here, I'll show you guys the flooring real quick. This is the color of the flooring that we're doing in there. That vinyl plank laminate, so it's supposed to just be real easy peasy. Lay it down, snap it in, hopefully. So right now they're doing some cleanup in here to get the floors prepared for that. So she's got her air conditioner over here. We left the beams exposed. We're gonna touch up, Mike's gonna sand them just a little bit, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. Got part of her closet over here. We'll put a rod up here when we get the rest of this part done. And then I think what we're gonna do is we have some old tile that we had used in our old house in the kitchen, and they put it on clearance, and we loved that tile so much that we bought all they had left in the hopes that we would be able to use it somewhere here. Unfortunately, it's not enough to do like our kitchen here or anything like that, but it will be enough to do some of the cement siding down here and the transition that's going to be right here, because this section right here where this window is going to get popped out, and then this will be an open doorway. So, and we're not redoing the flooring on the other side of that wall, so there'll be at least a little bit of a transition there. And I think I'm just going to do a giant area rug in that room so that you can't see that the flooring is actually different for now.
Yeah, we screwed up the floor.
Uh-oh. How?
Well, we put a lot of glue down underneath this 1 1/8 tongue and groove that went on top of the concrete. The idea was that it was going to, because it's so thick, it was going to level out, or at least slopingly level the concrete. The problem is, this edge of this board popped up, and the glue that we put underneath there dried before I realized it. So, I have been trying to shove it down with blue screws into the concrete, and I just keep snapping the heads. So now I've been sanding it, and I'm trying to sand this lip, but that lip right there,
oh yeah,
that's not gonna work when I put the laminate floor on top. So I think what I'm about to have to do is float this from here to here with something that'll level it. I don't know, I'm gonna go to the hardware store.
Like epoxy or?
I was thinking, yeah, I don't know. I'll see what they've got. I need to take this bump and spread it out over probably 18 inches or so, at least. I don't know. I'm gonna do something, and something's gonna happen, and that's what we're gonna have. There you have it, kids.
So the solve Mike came up with is he's gonna use some drywall mud to help float that area nice and gradually so that we can actually get it ready to put the flooring down.
Somebody out there's gonna hate this idea.
Everybody's
gonna hate this
Everybody's
idea.
gonna say something.
Everybody's gonna say, dude, you're an idiot. That's cool.
That's all right, I tell you that every day, don't I, honey?
Most days.
I'm just kidding. I don't say that. Hey, but if it works, then you're a genius, right?
Well,
a lot of genius is born out of idiotic ideas,
I have
seemingly
a lot
idiotic
of good ideas. I don't know if that makes me a genius.
It's like you're playing with Cool Whip.
Wendy's very interested.
Hey Frankie, can you find me my
Yeah.
3-foot level? This might work.
I think it will. I think it's a good idea. Can I help you, sir? Mr. Tom Tom?
Here to talk to me about my Lord.
My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You can't run from the Lord. That's the one that pecked my ear the other day. Linda, what, you don't want to talk to me now? She's anti-religion. She never likes it when I bring up your Lord and Savior. See?
Well, now I need to let this dry before I can start the floor, but I think that might have just given me the smooth transition I need.
Do you realize that you literally have a cobweb, like a full-on cobweb on the lid of your hat? You just scared the out of me, dick. I'm serious though. Like, you need to look at this. Full-blown web.
Oh, dude, that is
like, I don't even know if
bad.
the camera, let me hold it up against your black shirt, because that's crazy. Like, legit full-blown all the way across. I'm looking for the spider. I don't see a spider. But that's a very
I wore that hat last weekend, so that spider built that web since last weekend, and I feel like we should leave it there. Okay. That's totally not 3 feet, but good for you.
Yeah. Hey, you're gonna make some man very happy someday if you think that's
Oh no, that's no.
I'm bringing Father a rubber mallet for the flooring.
Oh, hey, that looks pretty good.
I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I'm trying to figure out how these things click together right now. Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I see.
What do you see?
This one is going to click down and then slide in. Okay, so I'm ready to cut my first one. I need to cut a half one down on that end. And
So then it matters like which planks you cut specifically because of where the grooves are and stuff, right? Or no, are they all the same? Because you made it sound like they were different.
oh, no, the pattern on them is different.
Oh, but the grooves, everything's the same,
The
so it
grooves
doesn't
are all
matter.
the same.
Okay.
But each
Box.
board in one box has a different pattern on it. So
Gotcha.
we're opening multiple boxes and sorting them so that the patterns are all matched up, so that we can make sure that we don't match up a pattern accidentally on the floor.
Gotcha.
So we don't have the same pattern side by side.
That is so high tech.
It's actually pretty low tech, but good for you. They say that it's shorter than 8 inches. I'm gonna say it's shorter than 10 inches, which means if I cut my first one right here at dead center half of this, which would be 2 feet, okay? Then I'm gonna have one that goes to here, one that goes to here, and that's perfect. My last one's gonna be like 18 inches, so. All right, so we'll do row number 1 and 2, and then we'll measure again and figure out if we need to cut any off of it, because they don't necessarily need to be seams exactly halfway between seams. They just need to be staggered enough. And we need to make sure that we're planning ahead so we know where we're gonna land after a couple of runs. So we're starting on the longest wall in the left corner, okay? And we're gonna have the least amount of obstacles for almost all of this until we get all the way to here, which is 108 inches from there. This is when we get to here, this is when we're gonna slow down. This first part should go pretty fast. Then we gotta start doing some trick cuts. And I gotta find my jigsaw. You know what a jigsaw is?
Yeah,
You're gonna need to find that for me.
it's in the other room.
Okay.
I'll find it.
Okay.
At least, but it did say 100% waterproof on the box, and we can confirm that it is 100% waterproof now because it rained yesterday, and it was outside. So, there's something.
There you have it. There's something.
I'm still being a busy little bee in the kitchen while Mike is figuring out the floor situation. We'll get an update in a minute, but I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. So here's my grapes that I'm working on here. These are the ones that obviously I haven't pulled off the bunches yet. And these are the ones that have been pulled off the bunches and washed, but they have not been, oops, I missed one. See, look what happens. But I have not run them through the blender or strained them obviously yet. So, and I'll have to go through and refine some of these a little bit as I'm adding them to the blender, but it usually takes me a few rounds to get them kind of fully cleaned off and ready for the blender. So I kind of do them in stages as I go. It just makes it a little bit easier. So they've been washed, pulled off the bunches. Now I'm sticking them in my trusty blender before I strain and drip. Let's hope that's not the right way. This is the way. The fun part. Pour it all in there. I let it drip as much naturally as it will. And then I'm gonna take a spatula. It's like I pureed Shrek. Cream d'oga, anyone. And then I'm basically left with like a thick juice that we use to make the actual jelly slash jam stuff. So I tell you what, all the pulp so far that I've gotten, I'm gonna give this to the pigs. I'll give some to the birds too. But this is like one of their favorite things to have is the pulp when we do this. And they also really like once you're making it and you pull the foam off the top, they love it. It's like, I don't know, it's like candy to them or something. Also, fun fact, I have only had one pig so far in all the pigs that I've had, and there's been a lot, that didn't like avocado pits. They're like catnip to them. Like they crunch them, it's like, I don't know, they love them. So pro tip, if you have some avocados and you have pigs, once they get a little bit older, when they're too young, they can't even get their mouths around them. But once they get a little bit bigger and their jaws are stronger, oh, they love them and they get all excited. It's like the bee's knees. Okay, early in the morning. Not early, I've already done most of my chores. I still have more to do, but you know how that goes, never ending. So it might be a little bit dark in here. So everybody else is still sleeping. Frankie's asleep on the other side of that wall for right now. So hopefully this doesn't wake her up. But this was the progress so far on the floor. And as you can see, we're down to like the awkward areas where he's gonna have to make a lot of cuts. So this next section is probably gonna be the most tedious just because each piece has to be cut pretty much. I think with the exception of that one plank there, I think pretty much the rest of it. Oh, and maybe the exception of this plank right here, and then there's still gonna have to be a cut there. So, because I think this section, most of it's gonna be like 18 inches, and then it's gonna alternate between the long and shorter planks. It's coming along, and then I think tomorrow we get to bust through that wall. So, we'll see how far they get today, but it's very echoey in here. I think some throw rugs might be in order to help with that. But once there's furniture and stuff in here, it won't be quite so echoey. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the air conditioner for these guys so that they can get this room cooled down a little bit before they start working. Thanks for watching, guys. We will be updating again with the rest of the construction progress with the floor. It was just getting it laid out today. It took a lot longer than we planned, and it's not gonna be finished before he's about to call it quits. His back is kind of mad at him. And stay tuned because we will be showing you a video all about the jelly making for those grapes that we harvested, or that I harvested. We're gonna be making that jelly together. So make sure you check back for that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you get the notifications.